Northanger Abbey is like this TV show about this rich British family, and Maggie Smith is on a lot. Oh no, wait, my bad. That's Downton Abbey. Never mind. Northanger Abbey is this book written by Jane Austen, and like you'd think it's just gonna be about this really old building, but it's actually about this girl, Catherine Morland. And like, if you're expecting her to be the heroine, like, don't. The narrator's like, nah, she's totally ordinary. And basically all she does is like sit around and read gothic novels all day. But this one day, her family's friends, the Allens, invite her to go to Bath with them. So she does. And like, Bath is a city, and she's from the country, so she's just like, what's going on? And basically she and Mrs. Allen just stand around all day, drinking fancy water and complaining they don't know anyone. Yeah, so eventually she meets this girl, Isabella Thorpe, and she also likes gothic novels. So they decided they'll be friends. And Isabella's got this brother, John, who kinda sucks. No, not kinda. Like, if you were to look up suck in the dictionary, there would be a picture of his face. John Thorpe likes talking about himself, his horses, and that's basically it. Oh yeah, Catherine also has a brother, James. He is also in Bath, and he's best friends with John Thorpe, and Isabella kind of has a crush on him, and she's just using Catherine so she can get closer to James, but Catherine's like too oblivious to notice. But then at this other dance, Catherine meets this dude, Henry Tilney, and he happens to be rich and single, but he also kind of picks on her, but again, she doesn't really notice. He's also got a sister, Eleanor, who's just practically perfect. I mean, she's probably Mary Poppins in disguise. So then, like this one day, the Thorpes are like, yo, Catherine, you're going out with us. And she's like, but no, I can't. I have plans with the Tilneys. And they're like, not anymore. So they basically kidnap her. This she does notice. And then on their way, they see the Tilneys, and she gets really sad and mad because she thinks the Tilneys don't like her anymore. And then like a couple days later or something, they try to do it again to her, and she's like, I'm not falling for this, no. So she runs down to the Tilneys' house and bursts in unannounced. It's real embarrassing, but somehow she still makes a good impression. I don't know. But then later, we find out that James and Isabella are engaged, so everyone's really happy. And then John Thorpe is like, yo, Catherine, wouldn't it be cool, like, to get married? And she's like, yeah, whatever, not noticing that he's serious. Apparently, to get Catherine to notice anything, you've got to physically restrain her. So then Henry invites Catherine to stay with his family at their house, Northanger Abbey, and she's really excited. Only then Henry's brother shows up in Bath, and he's like flirting with Isabella, and Catherine's like, I'm worried. And Henry's like, don't, it's fine. So Catherine decides she's tired of not noticing stuff, so she notices literally everything and thinks she lives in a gothic novel. And like, she makes up this plot that Henry's dad killed his mom, and Henry's like, no, what's wrong with you? And then Catherine gets really sad because apparently life isn't a gothic novel. And then she gets even more upset because turns out James and Isabella broke up, and now she's with the Tilneys' brother, and they're all just like, what? So yeah, then Isabella writes her and says that she's no longer with the Tilneys' brother either. They broke up too. So no one ever really knows what she's doing. And then like the next day, Eleanor's like, Catherine, my dad said you need to leave the house. And Catherine's just kind of like, da fuck? So she has to travel a long way by herself, and she probably wishes she had John Thorpe's horses right about now. But then she gets home, and Henry comes by, and he's is like, sorry that my dad kicked you out because you have less money than he thought, but I still love you. You want to marry me? And she's like, well, yeah, sure. So she finally noticed something, and eventually they convince General Tilney to let them get married, and then Eleanor gets married, and they all live happily ever after, except for John and Isabella probably, but that's basically the end.